In a vast landscape full of adventurers, you are now listening to the world of chaotic amateurs.
Obviously, we left off with you guys all at the kettle.
Yes. The beloved old kettle.
You, as what's your last name? Jamhorn Doril?
Doril, yeah.
How did I remember that? I don't even have that written down.
Good job. I award you 1 ret point.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to spend that right now. So, after your little adventures yesterday, you laid up late in bed that night. Just lots of thoughts running through your mind. The number one being that you felt it was time to take your oath. You twiddle the sprig of fir that you got on the road to Bravik between your fingers and fall into a fitful night's sleep.
Uh-oh.
When you're up the next morning, hanging out at the bar downstairs in the kettle, you're barely registering the little bickering that's going on between Airtorn and Lanston. They're
up to their usual...
Right. Yeah. They're just basically talking about what's important, quote unquote.
Okay.
They're having their own little debate about what important means. You don't even give it a second thought. You tuck the sprig of fir into your belt pouch, rise up from your seat, and you walk out of the kettle. And as you click the door closed behind you, the words of Lanston Philly Duke slip out right through the crack. You can kind of hear him mockingly saying, like, "Hey, what's his problem? What's that bozo's problem?"
I was just going to say, not enough bozos in there. Yeah.
You put up your hood, and you kind of make your way through the streets, thinking about the plague drifting silently from person to person, or however it might transmit. But you feel the call. The call of nature, basically. You can you just feel like you got to go and find somebody. So you take off after in the direction of the church of the cleric that Bick told you about, the bartender of the old kettle. As you're winding your way through Old Town, you can kind of see he's got a church. It's kind of a meager little thing. You press through the stream of people, and you can see that the front door isn't closed all the way. It's kind of left open, haphazardly. And from within, you can kind of hear some ruckus.
Uh-oh.
You hear
That's always what you want to hear when you're walking into a church.
Right, I know. So you hear just
people
like this,
getting right with the Lord.
Yeah. Hallelujah! Sorry, God probably blew up your freaking...
That's good.
Matt clipped it right there. But you hear these dudes just like, "Oh, God, stop it! There's nothing here. Why do you want this? We have nothing. We're a small church."
Uh-oh. So I push open the door, and I don't storm in. I want to try to be quiet and maybe observe what's happening first.
Okay. So you see the man who was described to you by Bick. He's kind of a short, squat little fellow. And in this little church, you've met clerics on the road. You've met them in other cities in your travels. You've never really seen them wearing their traditional outfits unless they're in their church. And here he was wearing his traditional dark gray robes and getting smacked around by 3 dudes, one of whom kind of stands impatiently with his arms folded, kind of near one of the pews. One guy holding the cleric by his arms, kind of like in a full Nelson type maneuver, and the other one kind of giving him some good smacks and some good little punches to the gut. They don't see you yet.
Okay. I want to call out now after kind of surveying what's going on, and I start stepping slowly, but with chest out, like confident.
Shoulders spread.
Yeah, kind of like I'm not going to take any guff. And I say out loud, "What's the meaning of this? Where I come from, we don't hit people of the cloth."
All three of the guys that are there, stunned, turn and face you. The one with his arms crossed coldly just looks at you and he says, "Hey, mind your own business, kid."
Oh, buddy. What's this guy look like?
Well, he's a human, as most assholes are. No, just kidding. Asshole knows no race. But he's human. He's kind of like medium height. You know, he's a little shorter than you. I mean, you've got some impressive height with your Eladrin blood.
Yeah.
But he's probably like between 5'10", 6 foot or so. Pretty solid build. But you can tell he's seen some hard times, like everyone in the city has. You know, he definitely kind of has that hungry look in his eyes. But it's also like the patience. It's a little unsettling.
Okay.
Because he kind of resembles the people that are outside, just like really scrabbling to make their way. But he kind of has those cold, calculating eyes at the same time.
Well, you know what? I'm just so offended by the fact that they're beating up on this poor cleric that I step up to him and I get in his face and I say, "This is now my business. You're hurting, for all I know, an innocent person. Not just a likely innocent person, but a person of the cloth. So you better tell your men to stand down."
Give me a roll.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to try to intimidate him? You want to try and persuade him?
I think I'm coming more from an intimidation.
Give me a strength check.
Okay.
Oof, that's a good roll.
Yeah. 19 plus 2, 21.
All right. So it worked. The guy kind of stares you down for a second, and he goes, "Listen here, you half scum.
Oh, buddy.
You barked up the wrong tree. We're going for now. But you stay out of our business in the future." And he kind of gives a little nod to his guys, and they throw the cleric down on the ground. One gives him one more boot right in the ribs. You can just hear him like, ugh, aching as the boot just like... And he shoulders past you, kind of shoving you a little bit, and makes towards the door as the other two kind of stand clear of you and kind of walk to the side down the middle aisle.
As they're just exiting, as they're just passing the threshold of the door, I want to... Behind their backs, I'm going to flip them off, or whatever the equivalent is in Bravik.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell out, "You have a small wiener!" And then I'm going to tend to the cleric.
One of them is just like, "Hey, uncalled for.
How'd you know?"
You mind your own business." So you go over to the cleric and you help him up, and he's like, "Oh, thank you for that. Those guys been coming around here for weeks now. I don't even know what they want."
For weeks? You've been putting up with this for weeks? You need to get some security in here, man.
Oh, if only a lock were good enough.
Yeah.
You kind of help him sit up maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So you don't know who they're working for, where they come from?
Not at all. How could I know? They're so vague. They come in here demanding money, demanding favors, demanding information from me, none of which I can offer them.
What kind of information are they after?
They think I know anything about what's going on over in Smallsville.
Smallsville. Hold on, let me pull up my notes.
Smallsville is like the little dwarf like borough of the city,
that's right.
like where all the
they're
refugees have
fleeing
kind of
Okay.
So they've come up the river and you know, they've kind of just ended up banding together and forming their own little ramshackle town. You know, they've kind of driven out a lot of people who don't like dwarves, and that sort of thing.
So they want to know about Smallsville? Or they're asking him questions about something?
They're asking me questions about Smallsville. They're asking me questions about Duncan Searin. They're asking me all sorts of things that I can't offer them because I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Did you just say Duncan Searin?
Yes. Why?
That's actually why I'm in town. I'm supposed to find Duncan Searin and deliver something to him.
Well, anybody can find Duncan Searin, but good luck getting across the river this day and age. Things are just not as good as they used to be here.
Well, what's to stop me from crossing the river?
The rich have paid for guards to keep people from Old Town and this side of the river, anything on the West End, crossing over into their neighborhoods. And so we're over here, living in squalor, living in pain while the sickness spreads.
What do you know about the sickness?
I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. You just said that.
Yes, I did. Why are you repeating that to me? Just kidding.
Sorry, Jamhorn's a little forgetful sometimes. Short-term memory. Well, for now, the trouble seems to be gone. If I can offer any services to you, but I do have one thing I need to ask you in return.
Anything. What is it? If it's in my power, it's yours.
Well, you see... what's your name, first of all?
Damn it.
Really? Is that with a capital D?
I thought I wrote down a name for this guy, but it was for the next guy. Anton.
Oh, okay.
My name's Anton. Hilderman.
Well, pleased to meet you, sir. My name is Jamhorn Dorel. I am not from Bravik, as you may have deduced on your own.
Clearly.
Wait, what is that supposed to mean?
I just mean most people in Bravik have a habit of keeping their heads down when they see people in trouble. Nobody in this godforsaken town would help me.
Not me, good sir, not me. Here's the favor I ask of you. Back where I come from, there was a cleric, a very wise man, and anytime there was a moment of questioning in someone's life, the cleric always had the wisest words to share. And so I'm hoping that you being a cleric, maybe you've had some life experiences and you can share some wisdom with me. I'm completely lost. On the way here, as I was entering Bravik, we came in from the west. Yeah, the west. There was these beautiful hadric fir trees.
Hadric firs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
they are something, aren't they?
they're stunning. We don't have anything like it where I'm from. But somehow I knew that it was a hadric fir. I think it's because I rolled really well. But as we got closer to town, I noticed less and less of the nature. And increasingly, as we got closer, people were just obviously sicker and sicker. And so, to me, it stands to reason there's a correlation there that I feel needs to be explored. And it just bothers me that I look around this town and all I see are buildings. There's nothing nature-wise here. There's not even a potted plant, for crying out loud. That truly, truly saddens me, and I just don't know if there's anything to that. And it's just kind of got me down in general, just being away from the nature. And I'm looking for some encouragement or maybe some sort of guidance on what I can do to either help these people or at least not let it get to me.
Son, you're not the first one to notice that things are bad in this city, and if I had anywhere to go, I would, but I can't abandon my congregation here, the people who look to me for guidance and the people who look to me for help in their daily lives, who come here for shelter or bread.
That's very noble of you, sir.
And I wish that I had the time, the knowledge, or the wisdom to offer you the words that you seek, but I don't. I can point you to another who might be able to help you better than I.
I'm willing to listen.
I wish I could offer you better payment than this. But in the dwarf quarter, over in Smallsville, look for a man, Commodus Leitersdorfer.
Sorry, you're going to have to spell that.
Commodus
Commodus.
Leitersdorfer.
Lighter.
Leidersdorfer.
Wow.
Yes. Those dwarves all
Those dwarves.
have really weird names.
Okay.
Commodus is a man of wisdom.
Is he a cleric or?
He is. He's a cleric belonging to an order that I think you might be looking for. Somebody who understands what you were just saying better than I.
Okay.
Somebody who respects the land, who respects the trees and the birds, most of all the water that brings creation.
Speaking of, do you have any water? I'm really thirsty right now.
Sure. Here you go.
Thanks. That's refreshing.
Of course, I boil it because, you know,
Oh, good.
things are bad in the city, so
Yeah.
enjoy as much as you want.
Excellent. I'm going to take you up on that.
And I add hops to it. It's a barley.
And there's an extra ounce. So, let's see. I have a water skin. Since I know if he boils it, that gives me some confidence that this is water I can share with others. Again, I'm thinking to myself that I'm protected from this disease, but I feel a desire to try to help other people because
Right.
I know that they don't have the same. How do I say this without sounding racist? Superior blood running through their veins,
Right.
as I do. So I'm gonna fill my water skin that I have in my inventory with it.
Half Eladrin, the master race.
Yes.
The supreme race.
Yeah.
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed Half Eladrin.
Yeah, too bad nobody else is as lucky as I am here. Thank you, kind sir. I appreciate your hospitality. And again, what can I leave him with? Here's 50 feet of hemp rope. Let's see here.
I'm going to smoke this later. Thank you,
Yeah.
son. Ease my pain.
I'm sorry I don't have something to help you more with, but
Son, you've already helped enough. You do not have to give me anything.
well,
Material things just attract more attention from the wrong kinds of people.
all right. Well, I understand, and I thank you for your help, and I will go seek out this guy with the funny name. Thank you, sir.
Of course.
And I give him one last pat on the back, walk up, and start to leave the church. And as I'm leaving the church, I try to quietly, sneakily drop 2 gold into the collection thing by the door, assuming there is one.
And of course, you try to do it sneakily, but
Yeah.
he knows everything that goes on in his church. And as you walk out the door, he hollers at you. He says, "May the gods shine their blessings on you."
And you as well, sir. Thank you. All right.
So you're out in the city. People are walking past. What are you going to do? Somebody coughs in your general direction.
I fart in theirs. In their general direction.
Dwarfs.
Yeah, in general, I'm going to start moving my way towards Smallsville. How far away is it from where I am now?
You know, it's
Walkable, or is
yeah,
it?
oh, definitely walkable.
Okay,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not worried about taking any back streets because I am not air torn. I didn't screw anybody's, any nobles' daughters or girlfriends or whatever.
So you just kind of follow the road in the general direction of Smallsville, and keep your eyes open for all that sort of thing. But and you can kind of tell it's not like there's definitely not a line or a wall or anything like that. But you can kind of tell as you're making your way into Smallsville that you're there. You know, more and more dwarves walking around. You know, kind of at like waist height.
Suddenly, it's like when an American goes to Japan and they're like suddenly the tallest person, even
Right.
though they're average height
5'8".
for an American. Yeah,
And
that wasn't racist, was it? It's just like a thing, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
Just everybody knows that.
Sorry if any of our listeners are Japanese.
They're like, why? So
Should I cut that out? Is that over the line?
you tell me.
I don't know. Well, Bentley will cut it out if it's
He's going to be
too
like,
bad.
"Wow, you racist."
I'm no longer doing a podcast with you.
He's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm half Japanese. Look at me."
What is? How tall is he? He's like 6.
Taller than me, and I'm 6'1".
He's 6 something.
He's
Anyway,
yeah,
okay. This isn't the Bentley
definitely not Japanese.
fanboy hour, so
Isn't Bentley the most
Yeah.
talented
He's so
person?
cute.
Oh my god!
you see what
I
he's
like
wearing
Bentley
the other
more.
day?
No, I didn't. I just kept taking his clothes off with my mind.
All right.
So as you get into Smallsville too, you do realize like that the poverty level is quite a bit higher than even anywhere in Oldstown, just because there's so many dwarves that are all trying to escape, the Civil War down south.
And once I get a couple blocks away, I just want to pull a random person and politely ask them where I can find Commodus Leadersdorfer. Whew, that's a mouthful.
Leitersdorfer.
Leadersdorfer. Oh, it's the EI.
Okay, so you get walking along, and you're trying to spot, somebody that looks like you can trust. And let's see, actually, you find the friendliest looking dwarf you can.
Which is not easy to do considering dwarves are all grumpy looking.
Right. You can't tell if it's a man or a woman, but you grab him anyway. What are you going to say?
Excuse me, kind dwarf. May I ask you a question? Real quick, and I'll be on my way.
What is it, tall one?
I am looking for Commodus Leitersdorfer. I hear he's a cleric, and I'm in need of a cleric.
Yes. Father Leitersdorfer, he's over there. Just keep going down the street and take a left.
All right.
You can't miss it.
Thank you, kind sir? Person?
Person is acceptable.
Okay. Thank you, kind person. And I pat them on the shoulder, and I make my way.
Okay, so you head down, and you have no problem actually finding where Leitersdorfer's church building is. And actually, it's not even really a church. You're kind of surprised to see that it kind of just looks like an enclosed little garden, actually. A little walled-off garden with a stone wall that comes up to about your chest.
Jamhorn approves.
And as you walk in under a gate that, it says something in Dwarvish that you can't read, unless you can read Dwarvish.
Nope.
And the symbol of like a raindrop is kind of carved into the wood above it. And what are you going to do? You want to enter in? And
Is the door open? Or?
there's no door. No door. It's
you
just
said
like
it's
a
open.
stone walled off thing. And the gateway is just kind of an open gateway with like a little thing over,
Almost like
a wooden archway,
Okay. I
built
gotcha.
into the stone wall.
Okay.
The wall comes up to your chest, and the archway goes a few inches over your head.
Yeah. Admiring the archway and just the natural beauty and kind of taking it in, a breath of fresh air, feeling almost more like I'm at home than in some strange city just because of the plant life.
Right.
I enter in, and just as I cross the threshold, I want to just kneel for a moment and just kind of close my eyes and take it in. A big breath, calm myself. Not knowing who I'm talking to, but asking for forgiveness. I stand back up, and I make my way further in and try to find Commodus Leitersdorfer.
So as you walk in, you realize that the garden itself isn't very big, but it's got a little winding path that goes through. There's all sorts of plants in there, which just blows you away. But in the middle is a little apple tree that actually, despite the unseasonable weather, has a few apples hanging heavy on branches, which really surprises you. There's some roses that are in bloom, despite that it's not, the season for roses to bloom. There's some other beautiful plants just winding along, and you hear the birds chirping, and
I stop and I smell the roses. I'm working on my mindfulness.
Good for you. And as you go in, you hear the birds chirping, and you realize that there's kind of like a little like flock of birds just like... And you like go in there and you're like, the heck is going on? And you walk around and you see, actually on the other side of the apple tree that's in the middle of the garden, seems to be a dwarf dressed in a green robe, unadorned, kind of asleep under the tree, leaning against it.
Can I wake him up?
You tell me. The birds kind of seem flocking to him. One of the birds is like on his shoulder, kind of like pulling on his earlobe a little bit, and he doesn't seem to budge despite this fact.
I'm gonna quietly walk up to him, since he seems so peaceful, and I'm kind of at peace myself, being in this kind of oasis. I'm gonna lightly shake his leg, not anything violent or shocking, and say, Sir? Just trying to rouse him.
He, as you jostle his leg a little bit, he kind of... Piss off, you little pickled onions! And he kind of rolls over, leans off the tree, kind of falls back asleep a little bit.
Excuse me, sir. I'm in need of a cleric. I heard that Commodus Leitersdorfer was the person to see.
He doesn't answer you, just responds with another snore.
Are there any other like rooms or offshoots from where we are right now? Or
No rooms,
it's
just a garden.
A courtyard, and that's essentially it.
Just a garden. Some of it's not walled off, but sectioned off with like tall plants and all that sort of stuff. But he's right in the middle. It's kind of a big area, not super huge. Probably like as big as where we are right now. Just imagine the wall running around with a big apple tree kind of right in the middle.
Okay. I lightly shake him again and say, Sir, I need your help identifying a plant, hoping that maybe that'll pique his interest.
And he kind of wakes up and he looks at you, bloodshot eyes, and he just goes, Son of a troll! What do you want from me? And he kind of slurs his words a little bit.
Sir, I think you need some water. You look like you could use a good drink of some clean water.
He kind of looks at you and he's like, What do you know what I need? Water! I don't need anything from you.
All right. And I wipe the spit off of my face. And I tell him that I've been sent by Anton Hilderman from West...
Yeah, from Old Town.
Yeah,
on the West End.
Yeah, in West End, yeah.
Smallsville is in the West End as well.
That's right, yeah.
Old Town's just another neighborhood.
It's more of a district. West.
Right.
Okay.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, Anton, that little twisted nether, he can't do nothing that need me done.
I'm not sure what you just said, but he speaks very highly of you, and I am in need of some guidance.
Guidance? What guidance can I give you? I can't even do nothing right. I can't. Just, what do you want from me? He kind of sits up finally, and he's like swooning, like sitting down on the thing. His eyes are just bloodshot. He kind of reeks of liquor as he's shouting at you.
What I need, sir, is I need this. What you have produced here doesn't seem to be anywhere else in the West End. And I think that there's a direct connection possibly to the illness, at the very least people's spirits. I feel that people would benefit from more of this out there, and all I've seen is desolation and buildings. It's just
what I've built here.
Jungle.
What do you know what I've built here? What I built here wasn't good enough. Nothing I'd done is good enough. My prayers ain't good enough. I've let the whole city down. And he kind of just like rolls over again while he's like trying to point at you and shout at you.
Okay. All right, sir. What is it that you think you've done that's just so terrible? Because what I see here is absolutely beautiful. It reminds me of where I come from, and it's quite beautiful there. When
And he kind of like breaks down a little bit. You can hear his voice crack. He's just like, nothing I've done is good enough. Do you understand that? I can't do nothing. I just water the plants, and I let this city down. I can't do what I wanted.
All right, I lean over and I place my hands on his shoulder, and I say, let me help you make it right. I don't know you. I don't know what you've done, what you haven't done, but let me just help you make things right. And then maybe you can help me.
He kind of looks at you, and you can kind of see his eyes go a little cross-eyed on you. And he tries to say some stuff, but he kind of like spits up a little bit, like, and it goes down his chin and like down his shirt. All
right, let me just dab that up for you. That's disgusting.
And he kind of like falls back, like head first, back onto the grass, kind of arms out. You realize you're not going to be able to get what you need from him when he's in this condition. You're going to have to help him out a little bit. You're going to have to sober him up. He's clearly just drunk off his butt. Which is a little disappointing. You know, you heard such good things about this guy, but
okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to the apple tree, and I'm gonna assume that he'll be okay with this. I'm gonna pluck one of the apples and cut it up with my dagger, hold it out to him, and offer him some pieces, and say, "Sir, I think you need to eat this."
You hold out the pieces, but he's not even aware. He's kind of like just laying on the ground. You can see he's kind of like his head's like rolling around a little bit, but he's just too drunk to even, like, he's not even in the same world you are right now.
Oh boy. I didn't want to do this because I got to take a long rest before I could use it again. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. Lay on hands on him. And
okay, I'll allow this.
Yeah, I'd like to, out of my pool, I'm going to give him 5 hit points. Hopefully that'll kind of bring him back. Or actually, I think lay on hands, you can either restore hit points or cure something, some sort of ailment, I think.
I mean, he is kind of poisoned in a sense. It's all alcohol is.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the lay on hands and just kind of concentrate on helping him feel well again and sober up. Hope that works.
Okay, so you rub your hands together and you kind of like Mr. Miyagi. You just kind of like and you utter a little prayer, and you can feel just like the alcohol like coursing through his veins, and he's had more than anybody really ever has a right to, even on a celebratory occasion rather. And so you find it, and you just kind of do your best to just draw it out, and you can feel it sort of working. You can feel it withering away, and his blood pumping a little stronger. His blood vessels kind of constricting slightly, and you can hear him just. He lays on the ground, and his eyes kind of open up, but he's still in a daze.
Yeah,
he's still just kind of maybe in a daydreamy type state. And he looks up at you, and he goes, "Why'd you do that?"
Well, sir, you seemed like you were in trouble. You needed help, and
no, I needed to be punished. I couldn't.
Oh, come now! Quit being so melodramatic. You're a dwarf. Be proud.
There's nothing to be proud about.
People wouldn't be telling me about you if you weren't a good person. Now, take some of this water.
And kind of help him up a little bit, and you pour some water.
Easy, not so fast, sweetie.
He swallows it as best he can. And the water, you see, it's in the water.
Are you talking about the plague?
Right. The sickness. It's in the water.
The man I got this water from says he boils it. Do you know if the boiling works, or did you just drink plague water? Because if so, I'm sorry.
He's like, Anton,
boils his water with the faith.
Mm.
It's good. He takes another sip from the water skin, kind of coughing it up a little bit. I've done everything I can to help, he says, kind of breaking down again. But it was no good. My prayers went unanswered. It wasn't strong enough.
Prayers for what? What were you trying to help with?
For the sickness. Don't you get it? I've done everything I can. I did everything that my God asked me to do.
Who is your God? I'm searching
The great
myself.
God Pacific, of course.
Could you spell that for me?
Pacific.
Like Pacific?
Yes. But Pacific.
Love it. Okay. I know not of Pacific.
Pacific, the great God in the sky who rains down life. He's the creation God who made the land fertile, the trees strong, the animals plenty. He kind of breaks down sobbing again. He's just like, it wasn't enough. It never was. Brofik is dying because I failed.
Dude, I wasn't expecting this to get so heavy. Well, let me help you. You sound like you're in a rough way. Let me ask you this. What have you tried so far? What failed, in your words?
I had a vision from Pacific. And he told me that somebody would come bearing his gift to add to the spring of songs, to make it better, you see. To fix what ailed it. Duncan told me.
Whoa, Duncan? Duncan Siren?
Duncan Siren, that's right. Duncan Siren, the protector of the spring of songs. He told me to stand fast and to keep my prayers going. And I did. I prayed every day to Pacific right here, right under this tree.
And people still got sick.
And the sickness spreads. And no help from outside the city has come.
Sir, what I can tell you, I don't know this God that you pray to, but I do know of gods, and sometimes your prayers are answered in a different timeline than the one that you might have for yourself. So I would advise you, I would encourage you to keep the faith and be patient.
What kind of timeline is this we're dealing with? It's been years, I say. It's been years. Pacific does nothing. People die. What kind of a god does that to his subjects?
Well, you know what? I don't know that I can fix your faith. I don't know that I can encourage you and let you know what a good job you're doing here and how much this place that you've created means to me. But I can try my... What would be a Bravik equivalent of darndest?
That's a good question.
My rootin' tootinest.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could try my best to make sure that your prayers are answered and that this plague leaves this land. Something you mentioned, though, I have to ask. You mentioned Duncan, and that somehow he's connected to possibly saving us from this plague, or somehow connected to the solution. You also mentioned somebody bringing something. Was there anything in your prophecies, anything that came to you in your prayers about what that thing is and who was supposed to come?
Nothing. All I know is Duncan told me to stay the course, to stay the faith, to keep my prayers strong, to keep this place alive, to inspire people to keep going, to inspire people not to give up. But the plague has only gotten worse. He said help would come. He said trust him.
Well, I'm no god, and I'm no prophet, but my friends that I came to Bravik with, we were charged with a dying man's wish to deliver something to this Duncan, and I suspect that it might hold some sort of value in the solution, in the...
What are you saying? What are you saying? What did you come to Bravik for?
I can't decide if I should tell him. Tell you what.
He kind of looks up with you with just tears in his eyes, and he's just like begging you to answer.
Oh, I'm a sucker for crying dwarves. I'll tell you what. If you help me out, I'll tell you everything I know, and I think you're gonna like it.
So he kind of sits up and he looks at you, and then he looks kind of past you towards the entryway, sort of towards the entryway where you came from. And he goes, "Oh no."
What is it? And I turn to look.
And you see 3 dudes standing there.
No. Is it the same 3 from the other one?
No.
Okay.
In fact, one of them kind of has a weird look to him. He's wearing the colors.
Oh, no. Air torn.
No.
What did you do?
No. He's wearing the colors of a ship that you once took command of called the Razorback. The ship that you escaped from the ship, the Curio, onto to get to shore. And he's got 2 goons with him. And he looks at you. And he goes, "So Ferdinand had it, did he? He really did. Oh, it doesn't get much better than this now, does it?" And he kind of takes a step towards you. His guy's following kind of right on his heels.
I put my hand up, my left hand up, and then my right goes to my hammer. Not drawing it yet, but I want to have my hand on it just to let them know that I mean business. And I say, whoa, gentlemen. This is no place for violence. Why don't we talk? This is a place of contemplation and peace. Maybe smell the flowers. Go ahead, smell the roses.
As your hand like reach for your hammer, like the 2 goons behind this guy like reach for their swords, and he like holds up his hand.
And they smell the roses.
And he goes, "Whatever it was that Ferdinand entrusted you with, you're going to give it to me, and you're going to give it to me here."
I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't have it.
Do you have any idea who you're crossing?
Really? I don't? So you can come at me, bro, if you want, but I'm not going to be able to give you anything useful.
He kind of looks...
So it's your funeral, bro.
He kind of looks over to Commodus, and he goes, "Tell your dog to back down, or I'll uproot every damned flower in this place, and make sure I grind the petals into dust."
All right, the hell you will, and I draw my hammer.
And before you can even get it all the way out, these dudes pull out their swords, and he pulls out his sword. Roll for initiatives.
Oh, boy.
Oof.
Yeah, me too.
So, okay, what did you have?
7 plus 2, 9 total.
Okay. This guy, his name's Red.
The main one that was talking is named Red?
Yeah.
Okay.
He rolled an 18. His goons rolled 1. You rolled a 9?
Yeah.
Okay. So Red comes at you, sword drawn. And it's like before
I wish I had a shield right now.
Before you even get a chance to like do anything, he just charges at you and just swings his sword right at your head. He rolls a 17.
That's a hit.
So he hits you for 3 damage.
Okay.
And his sword just bites into your flesh, cutting open your shirt a little bit, sending a stream of blood coursing down your torso.
I better not die in the solo episode. We're going to come back to the group episodes, and Caleb will have a new character.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep kicking your mic, dude. That's going to pick up. I feel bad. Okay. All right. So now it's your turn.
Okay.
Before you go, Commodus, he looks at you, and he just says something like, "Don't hurt the roses." It's like,
okay. For my free action, I want to say to Commodus, a little help here. Hoping that any sort of benefit he can provide in this encounter would help quite a bit, because there are 3 of them, and so far it looks like I'm the only one engaging. So, from there, what I am going to do, and you said Red is the one attacking me?
Red, yeah, the leader. You don't really know his name. I'm just giving you the benefit of me not having to call him that guy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use a level 1 spell. Wait, no. I better not do that. Not yet, anyway. Okay, I'm going to take my Warhammer, 2 hands, and I'm going to, instead of trying to swing it, I'm going to just try to run it through his gut. Like, I'm trying to push him back, almost like a Muay Thai push kick kind of a thing.
Yeah.
To kind of create some space, trying to push him back towards his goons.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a roll.
16 plus 4.
Nice, that's a hit.
All right.
So you ram the end of it right into his gut. He's just like, yeah, backs up. Give him out of damage.
All right. 6 plus 2, 8.
Nice. So you just like slam this right into his gut. Not only does he go flying back, but he kind of like falls to his knees a little bit. And he's like, he quickly gets back up to his feet, but before you get much of a chance to react, his goons kind of roll up on you. One of them comes at you from the left, one of them comes at you from the right. The one on the left takes a swing at you, and he totally misses. He just swings right for your head, and you duck right under him.
That's right.
And the other one comes at you, and he whoops, sorry. He swings at you, and you like hold up your hammer, and his sword smashes right on it. And with a nice little ring, your hammer, like a struck bell, just rings out, and this thing shatters like glass in his hands. He doesn't have a sword anymore.
All right. He crit failed?
He crit failed in the worst way.
I'm digging this.
So his sword just like breaks right there, just like, and your hammer is just like, bling, like a distant bell, ringing for lunchtime or whatever.
I look at the head of my hammer, and then I look at him and I wink.
So that now Commodus, he kind of like scrabbles to his feet, and he kind of like tries to run away and hide. He doesn't really have much to offer right at this second. So he puts some distance between him and these guys. Now it's Red's turn. Red comes at you. He's back on his feet. He comes at you with this sword, and he goes for like a thrust, and you just kind of like whoosh, using the shaft of your hammer, just like parry it out of the way. Now it's your turn.
The lay of the land as far as the grouping of them in relation to me.
Okay, directly in front of you is Red. Goon 1 is on your left.
Like, are they all within 5 feet of me?
They're all within attacking distance, yeah.
Okay. And are they like flanking me and one in front, or are they together?
Like it's like 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock status. They're not like the one that's right on you right now is Red. The other 2 are kind of just like within 5, 6, 7 feet or so.
Okay. And Red is essentially immediately in my face.
He's right. He's within grabbing distance.
Okay.
You could lean in and kiss him if you wanted.
You know,
I know you do.
I might do that. I have some new things. Okay, since I can't seem to keep these guys off of me, I'm just gonna have to start swinging away. In a big arc, so I parried his strike. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip my grip and helicopter the hammer over my head and try to swing down onto the collar of Red.
Okay.
who's right in front of me.
Give me a roll!
Here we go.
Roll it.
I don't want to tell you what I rolled.
Who knows? It might be a hit.
It's not.
It's definitely not a hit.
Yeah, I crit failed.
So you spin your hammer over your head and just throw down to bring the mightiest blow you can muster. And he just whoop, kind of does like a little like dance move out of the way. And your hammer just like whoosh, just with a dull, soundless thud, it just buries itself in the ground.
Okay.
You're trying to like pull it out of the ground, but you're not able to pull it. You're not able to get it right this second. At least not before the next goon takes a swing at you. And he misses. So he comes at you, and it's like you're trying to pull it, and he goes to swing right at your hands, and you just like let go, and his sword like whiffs it right between you and your hammer, and you go and try and get it out again. The other goon doesn't have anything. He only has his fist, so he's going to take a little swing at you.
Slaps me.
So he goes, and he just like goes to grab you, and for a second he's got his arms around you. But do you want to give me a counter roll?
Yeah. Is it strength?
Strength. Oh yeah, you won that.
There we
Handle
go.
it.
18 plus 2.
So he just like goes up and he kind of grabs you, and he goes to wrench your arm behind your back, and you give him one of your little like martial arts, little judo moves, and you just like clock him right in the chest, and you bring down your foot on his foot, and then you use your hips, and you just kind of give him a fireman's throw like right over in the way of the other goon.
Yeah.
And so now it's Red's turn. You're still working on your hammer.
Okay. So the two goons are essentially grouped together now.
Yeah, they're grouped together now.
Okay.
One's on the ground.
Okay.
Ooh. So,
Uh-oh.
no, it's good for you.
Okay.
So Red goes to take another little swing at you, and he kind of comes in at you with an overhead swing like this, and right as he brings his sword down, you just like grab his wrist. You guys are kind of like locked in this grapple for a second. I'm going to need another strength check from you.
All right.
He's going to roll strength too.
19 plus 2.
Okay, he rolled a 10. So you grab him. You grab him, and in your mighty strength, you just like squeeze his wrist, and his hand just kind of like he comes open, and he like drops his sword on the ground, and you grab him, and you give him another little judo throw like over you away, and you're able to get your hammer out of the ground.
All right.
Now it's your turn. And
Good.
he's behind you now, like he's the opposite of where he was standing before, and the other two guys are still on your 2 o'clock. So he's on your like 6 o'clock now, and the other guys are at your like 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put my foot on the sword that you just dropped and kick it as far away as I can, so like the 10, 11 o'clock area.
Okay.
Essentially opposite of all these jokers. And then I am going to... I want to use Ensnaring Strike on the two goons.
Okay. They're like right on top of each other, so if you get them, you'll get them both.
Yeah. Wait a second. Oh, I already said it, so it's a bonus action. So I think I can take a regular action in addition to this. But is that right?
I think so. Bonus action.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Because I have to. It goes in conjunction with a strike. So
yeah,
it says
I see.
the next
Use a
time
bonus
you hit a
action to
creature. Yeah.
attacking does not interfere with concentration.
So can I retcon it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna use Ensnaring Strike on Red. So I'm gonna take. I've just freed my hammer up from the ground, and I judo through him. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna hopefully get there fast enough, and I'm gonna verbally speak whatever it is I speak for the Ensnaring Strike, and then try to come over the top of my head with my hammer as I do it, trying to give him the old 1-2 with the Ensnaring strike coming from the ground, and then my hammer coming from over the top. And I think Ensnaring Strike, the strike has to be successful in order for it to work. Is that how that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and make it happen. Give me a roll.
9 plus 4. 13.
Fortunately, you missed.
Dang it. There goes the spell.
So you go ahead and bring your hammer down again, and this time he's kind of like on his knees, like looking up at you, and you go to swing it, and he kind of just like ducks under it, and you kind of just like whiff your hammer back up around. You're kind of still in a ready stance, but you did miss your attack. So now one of the goons gets up. The other goon comes to take the goon with the sword comes to take a swing at you. He misses. The other goon's up. Now it is your turn again. What's his name? Commodus just kind of keeps hiding behind the apple tree, like watching, scared out of his mind, it looks like.
Is Red supposed to go before me?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't mind taking my turn.
You wish. Red kind of takes another thing at you. He doesn't have his sword, so he just like goes and runs at you, and he kind of pulls a dagger out from his belt, and he goes to like kind of tackle you, give you like a real just like, and he goes to tackle you, and you just like move out of the way again, like you're just kind of you're one step ahead of him.
That's right.
So now it's your turn. He's kind of like on the ground again. He missed his attack. He kind of
leapt in at me.
He leapt. Yeah,
Okay.
he went to go like full on tackle you, and you moved out of the way. So now he's on his knees, and he's kind of like back up at you again,
Okay.
how he was a second ago. But now he's on the opposite side again, near her. He's closer to his sword, but it's still kind of far away.
Yeah. I like the fact that he's on his knees and not for the gross reasons. So he's in T-ball position as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to aim right at his head with
Do
my
it.
warhammer,
Do it.
two-handed,
Okay,
trying to hit that noggin and clean off that.
I'll give
body
you a +1 to your swing here since he's on the ground too.
Yay. Even with the +1, thank you. That was nice of you, but that failed. I got a 4 plus a 4
And nope.
plus your 1.
You missed.
I was never any good at T-ball. So.
You don't need the tee.
Yeah.
Pitch it to me slow next time, coach. So you take another swing like that, and he just rolls out of the way. And this time he rolls towards his sword, and he's getting a little closer to it. Goon with a sword goes to take a swing at you. He misses. Goon with his fist goes to like lock you up again, and he comes right at you. He gets like all twisted up or whatever. And as he's coming at you, you just like kind of give him a little knock to the gut. He takes a little bit of damage, and he falls down to the ground. He's unconscious for a
nice
second.
To me, or are these
He just rolled a 1. You can look at
totally
it right
terrible?
here. He rolled a 1.
That's awesome.
So
I look at Red and I say, "You got some great goons fighting with you, buddy."
you look.
Like,
So he rolls
does he take
over.
any damage, like mental damage?
Yeah, he's just like, why?
That hurts my feelings.
He kind of shouts at him. He's like, "Get your crap together!" And he rolls over to his sword and he picks it up, but he doesn't have much else to get to you. So
Okay.
now it's your turn again.
Awesome.
You got this guy on the ground, unconscious in front of you. Another guy within swinging distance who's got the sword.
Ensnaring strike again. So I'm going to approach Red, cast ensnaring strike as I try to swing at him with my warhammer again.
Okay, give it to me.
It's a little better, but still not good. 10 plus 4.
Oh, you barely missed it. Sorry, man.
Ah, there goes all my spells. Okay.
So you go and take another swing at him, and you miss. So now it's the goon's turn. The goon with the sword comes to take a swing at you. And he... What's your AC?
16.
Okay, he misses. Okay, good. So he comes at you, and he takes another swing and misses. Now, Commodus this time, you can kind of see him behind the tree, and he's got his hands together, and you can see him like kind of uttering some words under his breath.
Yes, Commodus, this is what I've been waiting for.
And you can't hear anything, but you sense a slight change in pressure, a little gust of wind. And it carries the scent of the apple tree into your nose, and the grass, the blades of grass, kind of stand on end, trying to get the scent themselves. It seems like
It's a very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon
and
scene.
the greens come alive, the roses perk up, and you can feel the energy of nature kind of coursing through your veins a little bit. But it is Red's turn, so Red grabs his sword, and he comes back at you, and he takes a swing, and he misses. God. So he takes another swing at you and just like goes to thrust. You dodge it or whatever. Now it's your turn.
Yay.
Dude, these guys are... I'm going to have to roll this other dice.
So I'm going to step and turn. So he was lunging in at me, so I'm going to step swiftly and try to get to, like, so we're perpendicular.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to hit him in the chest, going above the arm that just lunged at me, kind of coming square into the chest with the hammer.
Like with a swing?
Yeah.
Okay, give it to me.
8 plus 4.
Okay.
That's a 12.
Even with the bonus that you get from this, the prayer that Commodus is
I
saying,
still fail?
You still fail.
Yeah. And you thought you were the failure.
So, now it's the goon's turn. He comes at you with the sword. The other guy's still unconscious. Okay, this guy misses again. He comes at you from behind, even with... well, he doesn't get a bonus anymore because Commodus's prayer is kind of lowering his stuff. The other guy is going to roll to get up. He doesn't get up. Now it's Red's turn. Red, you guys are kind of locked in this little close quarters battle. Oof, he hits you, even with the negative roll. So he comes at you and he just gives you a little spin. You kind of block it with your hammer, but he spins around real quick. You can't even keep up with it, and he deals 3 damage to you.
Okay. You are making me angry, Red.
Your turn.
Yeah.
His sword just like lashes right across your shoulder, just like cutting it again, like really deep this time. You can really feel it, but you can feel sort of like the wind as you're moving. The wind is kind of like guiding your steps a little bit more. As you move your legs, you can feel the wind just like moving, making every movement you do just that much simpler.
I'm gonna switch to one hand with my warhammer, and then I'm gonna draw out my dagger in my left hand. And wait, no, I can't dual wield, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do it anyway because you're going to get a real big disadvantage with your hammer.
Yeah, so okay, I forget that. I put the dagger back, realizing it's such a terrible idea, and I grabbed the warhammer again with 2 hands. And feeling kind of that warmth and that calmness. It's like a warmth with the coolness because of that nice breeze coming through. It's kind of like a hot summer day, even though we're
kind of in the winter.
Yeah. But I just feel that warmth and that peace come over me. And I swing at Red with my hammer. I've got to get this guy down. But it doesn't happen.
What'd you roll?
5 plus 4.
No, even with the bonus, you don't get it.
Son of a gun.
Okay.
I got to change my rolling technique here.
Okay, so you miss. The goon with the sword goes to take a swing at you. He misses. The other goon's going to try to get up from unconscious. Oh, he's just going to stay unconscious forever, probably. He just crit failed. So now it's your turn. You look back over at Commodus and
Is it Red?
Oh yeah, Red's turn. You look back over at Commodus and he's still just like locked. His eyes are fixed on you, and he's got his fingers kind of grouped up in a special thing, and his prayers are getting more intense, and you can hear the words he's saying, but you don't understand Dwarvish very well. And Red crit failed. Yes. So Red goes to swing his sword again, and luckily you don't think you're going to get it in time, but luckily you bring up your hammer just with enough strength. You can feel the wind just pushing at your elbows, and you lift up the hammer just like this as the sword is coming down on the crest of your head. And the sword just like hits the hammer again, and you can see that it glances off at such an angle that it kind of falls out of his hand again. The sword's on the ground. He's right in front of you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to mock him, naturally. I'm going to tell him, "You're quite the Butterfingers, dude." And then I dart over to the guy that's laying unconscious, and I say, "I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, but I have to do it." And so I try to run that hammer straight through his skull to the ground.
Jeez. Okay.
I don't know how, since he's unconscious, I don't know how that works, but I got a 9 plus 4.
Sure. Or plus the bonus. So, you would have gotten it anyway.
Okay. I was going to say, because I don't know if advantage is the thing that happens when somebody's unconscious or something. Or if it's an automatic hit or something.
You got it anyway because of the bonus that you're swinging with advantage with this prayer that he's adding.
Good. Okay. 7 damage. Oh wait, no, 7 plus 2, 9.
He did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry.
So you just like completely crush his skull. Like you can't even see his face anymore. You realize you feel bad. Like they're gonna have to identify this guy from his dental records, probably.
As the character, Well, both as a real life person and the character, I feel terrible about doing that. But
He
I
wasn't
feel like
even a threat. You're a monster.
I know. Thanks, Brett. I make me feel even better now.
Okay, so you kill that guy, and the other goon, he's just like, no! What did you do to Bill?
Rest in peace, Bill.
Ooh. Oh, you have 16. Dang, he misses. So he takes a swing at you with his sword, and you just kind of like shunk, dance out of the way.
That's right.
And he misses. Now it's Red's turn. Red kind of rushes over to you. Oh my god! And he just like goes to tackle you, and just like
Oh, that's right, because he dropped his sword, huh?
hits his head right on the face of your hammer, and he's just like, "Ow!"
Quit hitting yourself.
And he takes. You know what? I got it. Let's see how much damage he takes. Takes 2 damage.
Yay.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, now
I
it's
like
your turn.
that me doing nothing is what's beating them. Okay, so he just came at me. He hit himself on my hammer, and I'm going to return the favor and hit him with my hammer.
Okay, give me the roll.
8 plus 4. Dang it. That's 12.
12. Yeah, even with the bonus, you still miss.
This has got to be the longest,
For real, dude.
easiest fight, but the longest.
So the other goon takes a swing at you. I got to re-roll that. Sorry, I got stuck between my dice on the middle. You wouldn't have liked what the options were either.
Uh-oh.
He hits you with his sword for 1 damage.
Okay. That was the goon?
With goon.
Okay.
And you look over at Commodus, and you realize that now his words have intensified, and you can hear that he's actually like almost pleading. And as he does this, as he does this, his hands change shape, and he mutters, and his prayers get louder, and you can make out the name Pakafik a few times.
Ooh.
And before your very eyes, just kind of like the rose bushes that are around you guys and the other plants, like they kind of just like coil up, and they reach out towards Red, and they just grab him right by the ankle, and the thorns just like stick into his leg. He takes a little bit of damage. He takes 1 damage from these thorns, burying it into his leg. And not only does it coils up his ankle and into his thigh, and it's got his whole leg there. He's pretty immobile.
All right.
So,
how close are Red and the remaining goon?
you could attack him. Both. Or one or the other.
I'm going to go up to the goon. However, I need to approach him. I want to try to maintain range, like away from Red, who's now ensnared by roses. So, like, if I could find a way to line them up, and I'm going to be on the opposite side of Red, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing at said goon. I'm swinging for his knees, though, this time. I want to immobilize this guy.
You're going after the goon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to immobilize this guy by swinging at his knees. 6 plus 4.
Nope.
I don't
He jumps
get it,
out of the
man.
way.
I don't get it.
He jumps out of the way, and then he takes a swing right back at you. Misses completely. Just whiffs it right over your head. This fight will never end.
Yeah.
So
We're all just bumbling around like...
So now it goes to Red. He tries to get free. He doesn't get free. And he can't reach you. You kind of step right out of his range as he's trying to like swing. He can't even move. So now it's your turn again.
I'm relying on those roses here. Okay. I'm going to do it again.
The goon?
Yeah, so I missed, and now I'm going to backswing, trying for the same guy, same hit.
Let's
to
see
the
it.
knees. 8 plus 4 again. I got to change something up. Do you have another D20 that you're not using?
Pick the blue one.
Okay.
So
I need a new set.
He moves his leg right out from under you, goes to swing at you. He misses. Good God. Okay, now it's Red's turn. He tries to get out. He can't get out yet.
You know you're having fun in a game when both of us are like, oh my gosh, okay.
Your turn.
We do this.
Your turn.
Just trying to get through it.
If you swing on, I'll tell you this, metagaming. If you swing on Red, he's immobilized, so you get to roll 2 d20s and take the better.
Okay. I was hoping to get some information out of him, though. Okay, I'm going to do that. I want to go over to him, and I want to do non-lethal damage. So, like, if I could knock him out or something like that with my hammer.
Okay, well, you'll need to roll a good roll for that.
Okay, I'm just going to try to murder him then.
You can try and roll non-lethal. I'll tell you, if you can get above a 20 with your bonuses, it won't be lethal.
Okay. Otherwise, it'll just be
you
normal
can't
damage.
control it, yeah.
Okay. I don't like your D20 either.
Well, you get a roll 2.
Oh, that's
Take
right.
The better
Okay.
one. Take the better one.
Mildly better. All right, 9 plus 4, 13.
13 plus. Okay, you do hit him with your with the bonus from the prayer.
Okay.
So, but you didn't roll enough to do non-lethal damage. So give me the damage.
7 plus 2, 9.
Okay, so you just smack him right up the head with your hammer. He falls to the ground. His face is just bloodied up. His face is all crushed. But you notice he isn't done yet. But he is on the ground. He's trying to get up. Now the other goon comes after you. He misses. Dude, that's like the 4th time I've rolled a 3 in a row for this guy. Like, what the heck? Okay, so he misses. It's your turn.
Does Red go, or is he...
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, Red manages to cut the rose bushes free of his leg, but he's pretty disoriented. He's climbed up to his feet, but now it's your turn.
Okay. I'm going to, while he's disoriented, I'm going to try to capitalize on that and swing at him. Finally! 15 plus 4. Please tell me that's a hit.
That's a hit. And also, because it was above a 20 with your bonus, the plus 2 from the prayer.
Non-lethal?
It's non-lethal damage.
Yay.
You smack him right across the ankle, like Misery style, just like breaking those things right at the joint.
I got an 8 plus 2.
Okay,
10.
so you do him in right to the cusp, basically, and he's just like looking up at you, broken and battered. His knee is bent in the wrong way. His ankles are just like pointed outward. And he's all bloodied up. His pants are torn. His face is just caved in. He's missing some teeth from when you hit him in the face.
I tell him, you're going to need to get that looked at.
And the other goon just gets up and he's like, "Oh my God! Oh God!" And he tries to run away, and the other guy is just like dead on the ground, and he's like runs out the way he came in.
Good. Smart man, I yell out. All right.
You say, collapsing from exhaustion.
Yeah. All right. I take my hammer and I point it right in his face, and I say, "Who do you work for?"
Work for? Don't you remember me? You stole my ship! He coughs, spitting a tooth out at your feet. Okay? And he looks up at you guys and he goes, "We tracked Ferdinand all the way with the slavers on the Curio. All we wanted was what he carried, and you had to take our ship. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy to get here, but we had to do it. We had to do it. The Curio is sinking, but we managed to get to port."
Obviously, what he was carrying is very important to you. Maybe enlighten me on what that is?
You don't know? You're as stupid as I thought you were.
Okay.
Only a madman takes a sinking ship to shore.
That sounded very poetic.
You're welcome. It's all the hallucinations I'm getting from having my brain smashed in.
Okay, well...
Oh, God, my face.
It hurts so bad. Commodus, come here.
He, like, walks over to you, and he's kind of got a little swagger in his step, like he hadn't done that in a long time, and it felt pretty good.
First of all, killer job. Second, do you know this guy?
No.
You don't recognize
Never seen him before in my life. Never seen him before in my life.
Okay. I want you to decide what we do with this guy, because I have a feeling if we let him go, he's going to be trouble in the future. But you're a man of the cloth. I trust your judgment. Should we...
He looks up at you and he goes, "My son, I owe a great deal of thanks to you." And you can tell he's still like feeling a little sick, and he goes, "I lost my way. There's been enough bloodshed today. If there's anything left of good in us, let us shine it back into the world. Mercy is the course."
I understand, sir. I put my hammer away. I go to turn my back to Red. But as I turn my back to him, I pull out my dagger and I slice him across the forehead as I turn around just to mark him.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him that I could have easily cut his throat. If I ever see you again, I will cut your throat. And then I, like trying to get somebody out of the kitchen, give him the boot to the butt, and try to roll him or kick him out of the garden.
Mm-hmm. He like crawls his way over to the front of the garden, and you can kind of see like his other friend like didn't really leave him too far behind. He rushes over and he grabs him and he helps him up, and he looks back at you and he goes, You've just made the biggest mistake of your life, buddy." And he runs away.
I do the equivalent of flipping him off. And I say, "You have a small wiener."
Hey! Why is it so personal with you, Eldred? So he runs away, blood streaming into his eyes from the cut you left on his forehead. That's going to leave a nasty scar.
Yeah.
His leg busted up. And Commodus looks at you, and he places his hand kind of on the small of your back. And he goes...
Whoa, are we dancing?
He's like, bow, chicka,
He
bow,
pulls me
wow.
close.
Yeah. Starts kissing you. He goes, "I can't begin to imagine what would have happened if you weren't here, son."
I feel like I brought them here. I'm so sorry.
Be that as it may, watching you fight, seeing those men...
Failed swing after failed swing.
I think you might have brought more to the city of Bravik than those thugs. I think you might have brought hope.
I hope so too. I tried to not use the same word as you, but hope was the only one that came to mind.
I don't need to know why you're here, and I don't want to know. Pakafik sees all and blessed you here. You're on the right course. That's all I can say, but I know it for sure.
I need to know more about this Pakafik. I feel a connection to this place, to you, to the words that you uttered, to this Pakafik. I want to learn everything that I can in my time here about Pakafik. I will swear my allegiance to Pakafik. Pakafik, I feel, because I was rolling so terribly, turned the tide of this battle. And I owe my life to Pakafik. I could have easily died.
Look around you, son. Points to the flowers and the trees. Kind of pulls an apple down on the branch before letting it snap back up. He goes, "This is Pakafik. He made this, as he made all. Made the soil fertile, the trees strong, and the animals plenty. When the birds sing, they sing his name. When the squirrels play, it is with him in his heart." I can see that. I can see that his hand brought you here. That the spirit he embodies, the spirit of nature, the everlasting, the spirit of the mountain and the valleys and the rivers. It'll be here long after we're gone, but it brought you to this place, and I can see that now. I lost my way. But you're the lantern that's guiding the dark tunnels. I'm just happy that I could see that before I go.
Wait, are you gonna go kill yourself?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just old, kind of.
Oh, before you go,
You know, you don't get to see
in the
grand
grand
all the
sense.
time. yeah, like before my time's up.
Nothing is about to get real weird.
Oh no, I ain't killing myself. I gotta let
He
you
walks
live for
over
it. You
to
see
the
this
apple
place?
tree, strings up a rope. Got real dark.
He's like, "This is the best piece of land in Bravik. I ain't going anywhere. Some fool's gonna mess this up." Hey,
These are my apples.
yeah, I used the wrong words. I see that now.
Get off my property. Well, good. How do I show my allegiance to Pacific? Pakafik. That's going to be real hard being a Pacific Northwestern person.
I know. That's why I did it. I practiced it all the way here. Pacific doesn't require your allegiance, just your respect, your reverence, your awe, your wonder. Take a look around at you. Smell the rose. Suck the juice from this apple. Did
you have to use the word suck?
Fine. Yeah. Taste the juice.
That's somehow worse.
Slurp the juice.
Take the juice in your mouth.
Just have the nectar of this fruit. Rub the soil of the earth between your hands. Take in the scent of the grass. Feel it between your toes.
I take off my shoes and feel the grass between my toes.
He's like, hey, that smells. Hey, what's up with that?
I wasn't being literal.
As he's telling you all these things, it makes it evident to you that you've sort of been on the path of Pacific for a while now, and you pull the sprig of Hadric fir from your belt pouch and you twirl it in your fingers, and he sees, see, Pacific brought you here, and he kind of gestures to the fir in your hands as you spin it around to catch it in the light, and he goes, protection of nature, protection of all that Pacific created, respect and awe. That's all that you need. And you'll be on the path. What say you?
I will walk this path till my dang die. Dang die?
Till my dang die. Yeah. Till my dang die do bye.
Dang die.
He guides you over to
Let me try that again. I will walk this path until my dying day.
And he says, bring the spirit of Pacific over here. And he kind of gestures to the sprig in your hand. And he guides you over to the apple tree. And he has you kneel down next to him. And he places his hand on your shoulder as you clasp the fir in your palm. And he starts his incantations, essentially, in a language you don't understand. But when he's done, you open your eyes to find him staring straight to you in the face, and he says, respect and protect nature. This is what Pacific asks you. This is what I ask of you. This is what you have to ask of yourself at all times.
Respect and protect, I will. You know, I should get going. I've got a couple friends that are probably really worried about me.
You clasp the sprig in your hand a little bit, and you can kind of like feel a little bit of like power emanating from it, like a power of faith, like coursing through it from the pine needles through the palm of your hand into your arm and into your heart and mind. And he doesn't give you any other words, but he kind of bids you farewell and lets you go on your way if you wish.
I thank you, sir. And I go to shake his hand, but I want to make sure I have a couple gold in my hand that I can pass to him as we shake hands.
He grasps hands with you and he goes, like I said, son, you're on the right path. I guess I screwed up his accent. He's had an accent this whole time and then I dropped it. You're on the right path. I believe you're here to answer the very prayers I thought unfulfilled. I see that now. Your friends need you. We need you. Brovik needs you. Go forth and carry the blessing of Pacific in your heart.
I will.
Come back here anytime you need a safe place.
Thank you, sir. Lovely garden, by the way.
And as you wind it down, you head back through Smallsville, and
I'll worry about a shield some other day.
And you make your way back into Old Town and back towards the familiar street that the kettle is on. And of course, you open the door, kind of as the sun's setting. You didn't realize it, but the oath, I guess, if you will, took a little bit longer than you at first realized, and the sun, still in the sky, is slowly sinking behind the walls of the city, and you go in, and Before long, Lanston and Airtorn kind of plop up next to you guys and on a stool at the bar, and Bick kind of looks at you guys and he's like, "Oh my God, what happened to you guys?"
Uh-oh.
Kind of all at the same time. And just like, "Oh, hey,
You'll
same old,
never
same old."
believe what happened to me.
nothing happened. Same old business. No, just another day,
Yeah.
And he pours you all a mug of ale. And,
Good.
and there you are. There you have it.
And I say, thank you, sir. Guys, I think I know what we're here for.
The oath of the ancients administered to you by the priest of Pacific, Commodus Leidersdorfer, or whatever.
Yep, you had it. Yeah. Good.
You can kind of feel a sense of purpose in your step now. You can you kind of press the Hadric fur in your belt pouch where it is, and they look at you, and they're like, "Oh, you do know, huh? Okay, well, how about that?" And the credits roll. You've had a busy day, but you got it done.
Yeah. All right. I finished my mug of ale, and I hug my bros so tight. The tightest of hugs.
When we come back next time,
A 6 + 4 for hug.
they reject you again.
That's my life. Just like my dad.
When we come back next time, you all are going to share your little piece of information about what you've learned about this. Yeah, you don't know that they learned anything. They look at you kind of questioningly when you say you think you know why we're here. But the credits roll.
That's where we leave it.
And there we go.
Hey.
Jamhorn Doril got to wet his teeth a little bit. Protect the faith. Protect the mission he's on. Protect the chapel of Pacific with Commodus.
In sort of a bumbling way.
In sort of a bumbling way, but could Jamhorn do it any differently?
No, he could not.
So, that's it. I guess I've been your DM on this adventure. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Jamhorn.
Grab your sword and keep on adventuring.
Follow us across all platforms with Chaotic Amateurs. Please subscribe, rate, and review our show on your podcast app of choice to help us climb the charts and find new adventurers. Or become a patron on Patreon to help our heroes continue their quest. Thank you for listening to Chaotic Amateurs.